What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Rawstocks. I'm Rustic, and today we're going to be looking at Tesla's chart. We're going to look at where price came from, where price ended today, and where price is likely to head tomorrow. If you caught yesterday's video, we talked about the potential for manipulation to be happening today. We caught an early move of manipulation where we ran up and instantly sold down, but then ultimately we ended up running higher into the end of the day. So where did that leave us today? It still leaves us below the high of Monday. It was just an inside day candle. It was green, so technically bullish, but again, did not break the candle body high from Monday, did not break the wick high, these equal highs that are up here from Friday and Monday. But ultimately, we also didn't take a lower low. It's a little unclear, even though it was a bullish day off the bottom where we did catch a rally. We didn't take a higher high or a lower low. More or less, it was just kind of some additional accumulation. And so what are we looking for tomorrow? Well, we have a couple different things out here on the charts that I'm watching for. I got this trend line connecting this low and this high wick here in the gap. I'm looking to see if we can potentially break out. And if we broke out, we'd be running up to the wick low here at 234.62, maybe Wednesday into Thursday. Also happens to be the consequent encroachment between this daily gap here. And so again, if we do break out of this trend line, setting a higher high for the week, I'm expecting us to run up into this gap somewhere. Whether that's a consequent encroachment, all the way through the gap, it's a pretty big move. But I do expect that if we break this trend line, we're going to move higher. Okay, but if we don't break that trend line and we start selling down, we have our lows from Monday and our lows from today. We also have this gap looming below. That gap's at 212.84 to 205.90. So basically 206 to 213 if we started getting distribution to the downside. So we do look for highs or lows of the week to come in on, potentially Wednesday or Thursday if we catch additional distribution. So we are looking for distribution tomorrow. Whether that distribution comes to the upside or downside, you guys want to be prepared with your different levels. And again, there's some trend lines we're watching. These trend lines down here, less important because we're not close to those. But again, if we do not break this trend line here and we reject, we could be coming down to test that gap and then again making another run on these trend lines to see if they offer support. And we'll keep an eye on those if we do start trading down. And again, if we start trading up, we're looking to get into the gap, break the trend line, consequent encroachment, gap close, and then we ultimately have above downtrend resistance, and we have an internal order block on the daily chart. So let's drop down into the 4-hour and see if it tells us anything differently. We had a change of character here, right? So this, again, 4-hour chart, we got big moves. We have a change of character. We're trading back up into a gap. That's garden variety stuff from a smart money concept that once you have a change of character, you do see some kind of retracement, typically back into a fair value gap or some kind of liquidity target. We also have we have the daily gap here. We also have a fair value gap up here. So we'll see where the price wants to eventually run up to. This might be all she wrote, right? We got this trend line here, kind of ran a test. We fell short a little bit. We came up today. We didn't break candle body breakdown from the 4-hour. We did not break the daily candle body high. We did not even test the wicks or test the highs. So although this looked like a strong move, we really didn't end up doing a whole lot. We just rallied a little bit, but that's not confirmed bullish until we start breaking this candle body, start breaking this wick, and then ultimately break this trend line here. And so entirely possible that this move was manipulation, where we want to continue, where it continues to look like it's bullish because we've been bullish. We had a nice sell-off on Monday, right? We continue to look bullish. And would it be out of the ordinary for price to run down and hit this gap or run into the gap? No, definitely not. We could see Wednesday, Thursday distribution to the downside, Friday be a reset, or even Friday come back and test this support level. So anything's possible with Tesla. You can't take anything off the board. We're just looking at what the chart is telling us right now. And what it's telling us right now is that we ran a test of the high on Friday. We did not break that high, but we came pretty close. Ran a test, rejected very hard. Now we're running a test of that 4-hour breakdown candle. We're not able to close above it today. So that's not incredibly bullish, although we are inside of that candle. On a daily candle, we're inside the daily bearish candle from Monday. And so we're just running a test, right? We're running a test of these levels up here, seeing if they want to hold, seeing if they want to offer resistance, or again, do we want to break out, break this trend line, start running higher into the gap? Again, likely target consequent encroachment. If we were eventually looking for a bearish move again to come back down and take these lows, I really don't want to see this level here of 234.89 broken. I don't mind to see us trading up near and around that level, still respecting it, and then seeing a larger sell-off maybe down into this order block, maybe just down to swipe these lows and test it. We'll have to see when we get there, but again, we got our support levels, and then we have below order blocks that sit much further down here. So, again, seasonality suggests that this is a more bullish time of the year, so we certainly could start to see us rally higher. If we do take this level, it invalidates an Elliott wave count that I have going on, but Elliott wave counts get invalidated all the time, so that's no big deal. Again, if we run into December being bullish, we might see us come back, test this fair value gap on the 4-hour chart, test this trend line, maybe even, depending how quickly we get there, test this 4-hour order block that's above, and then see a reaction back to the downside there. So we'll just have to keep watching and see what happens, see which direction we move. But again, I'm really watching this change of character. We had the change of character. We're trading back up towards a gap, towards liquidity levels, and then want to see if we get some further downside distribution from there. Dropping into the 1-hour chart. Again, we got our same levels, just a closer view. On the 1-hour chart, you do see we have this daily fair value gap, or this 1-hour fair value gap. We've traded back down to it, and we've ran up through it. Again, we see on the 1-hour chart another equal high, right? We ran a test of this wick. We rejected pretty hard. We sold off. We're now running a test of this breakdown candle. We've taken this breakdown candle here, but we're running a test on this breakdown candle. We did not close above the 1-hour breakdown candle either, or this big rejection block from running a test on this high. So again, nothing screams that it's bullish. Now, if we get above these highs over here, these equal highs at 226 and some change, we'll just call it 226. If we get back up there tomorrow, then the narrative changes. I'm looking for a breakout of this trend line. I'm looking for price to run up into the 230 mid 230s, and maybe even higher into the end of the week. If the manipulation move was this move to the downside to catch bears, then our distribution looks like it's already started and is going to continue us up into this gap, if that's the play, right? But I want to see these levels taken. I want to see the equal highs taken. I want to see the downtrend resist, or this downward resistance line that came again from our bottom here and our wick here on that gap. I want to see that taken, both of those tomorrow. Distribution to the upside, potential continuation into Thursday. Friday might be a bit of a sell-off if we see that. We also could get distribution to the upside on Wednesday, see a reversal on Thursday, and then Friday will be, a gamble of whether we're going up or down, or maybe just trading sideways into Friday, being a reset day on the quarterly theory. So a couple different things I'm watching for, right? Do we start taking out those levels that we talked about, equal high, downtrend resistance, into gap? If that doesn't happen and we start trading down early tomorrow, I am looking for downside distribution to take the lows down here, sell side liquidity, come into the gap potentially Wednesday, maybe even to Thursday. If we're trading down, we're looking for this fair value gap here. We're looking for a daily gap here, right? And we're looking for distribution to occur to the downside, potentially Wednesday, even into Thursday, if that's the direction it starts heading, right? And if we get continuation into Thursday, we could easily see this gap get filled. Potentially Thursday, maybe even into Friday, we could run a test on these support levels. So again, those aren't off the tables. You guys have seen how quickly from last Tuesday to this Tuesday, we've gone 194 all the way up to 226. I mean, that's a hell of a rally. So just as fast as it can rally, it can drop. And so we're going to be watching for, objectively, our targets to the upside and the downside, depending on which way price starts to run on Wednesday. Because again, Wednesday, we're looking for distribution. On our 15-minute chart, we just get a closer look at what happened today, right? If you watched the video yesterday, what I said in the video was look for that initial out-of-the-gate manipulation move, okay? We opened up, we rallied up with a wick, we immediately sold off. There we caught an early morning distribution in the first 15, early morning manipulation in the first 15-minute candle, sold down a little bit further than that. And then after that, we just rallied up. It was just kind of on the 15-minute chart, just looks like straight green candles, a little bit of a maybe topping process here. So we'll see what happens. But even on the 15-minute chart, you see our huge, so every chart you've seen this, right? Ran a test on the top, big rejection candle, followed by 3 more red candles, and then further downside on Monday, leaving a nice big range. But again, tomorrow, I want to see us take this top, break this resistance line. That will give me more confidence that we're heading up higher, further than where we're at, right? So we really want to see 226 taken for the bull case scenario to get strengthened, taking the tops, running up higher into the gaps. Okay, again, if we start selling down, we got our order block here on the 15-minute time frame. We got our sell side liquidity also on the 15-minute time frame. We see a fair value gap just like we saw on the 1-hour time frame, and also our green levels is a daily gap, right? So if we do start selling down and catching distribution, we're looking for, price to come into this order block. We'd probably see a small reaction and price come back down further. So I'll show you what these 2 different moves are going to look like. Doesn't matter where we open, right? If we start trading up to take these levels, right, and breaking this, and we might even see that level taken, run a test on that trend line, and then I want to see us trade higher Wednesday, potentially even into Thursday, right, and then potentially again even all the way up to that consequent encroachment of that daily gap. So a move might look something like that. It's not going to be perfect, but might look something like that. If we start trading up, it's going to strengthen my bull case scenario that we're going to head higher into this gap through the rest of the week. Now, again, if we start trading lower, I'm looking for this order block here. Okay, we'd probably see some kind of reaction. I'm looking for sell side liquidity to be taken, and then trading into the different gap levels that we have on our 1 day, 1 hour, 4 hour, 15-minute. There's gaps all along just because we also had a daily gap in there. So if we start catching downside distribution, we're looking for, these different targets, the order block, the sell side liquidity here, and then into the gap Wednesday into Thursday. And then potentially even further into Friday. So we'll just have to see, what price wants to do. But we have objective targets either direction. So what we're targeting. We're targeting the equal highs and the resistance line up around 226 and a half, 226 right here with this gap open, right? And again, our resistance line up near 227 and a half. So those are our upside targets if we start trading higher. And our first downside target is going to be 218 where this order block starts. Okay, so you got the targets going both directions depending on which way price starts heading in the morning. Again, we'll drop into our 5-minute chart. We can see a little bit better on the price action today. Okay, right here we had that move up, immediately sold off. What we did was we ran a test on this order block here, traded down to it, and we did find support in that order block, and we were able to take off from there. Came back down, tested a bigger swing order block, and we traded up. We got a bullish change of character, so it would be likely, even with a bullish change of character, that we do come back down and test levels of support before we head higher, but we'll just have to see what happens in the morning. We do have, again, a couple different order blocks that we can come back down and test, and so on a smaller time frame chart, what that looks like is that maybe we only come back and test this order block before we run up and test that trend line, take those equal highs, maybe head higher, right? That would be a pretty bullish scenario if we found support in this internal order block. But again, if we were to immediately take that out and that didn't offer us support, we'd be looking, again, come back down and run a test on some of these order blocks, see if they hold, come back down into the daily gap, taking the sell side liquidity. We got equal lows that have not been taken here, right? So that move right here might come down just into an order block, might come down and take the equal lows fully like that, right? See some kind of reaction, then trading down into the gap. So again, objective targets, upside, downside, we know depending on if price is heading in one direction or the other, we know what those targets are. And then when you look again on the 1-minute chart, just again, at this point, we do have now a swing order block on the 1-minute chart. So we could see us trade up into that, reject it, come back down, find support, and then even trade higher like that. That could be an early move, or we could just see us come back down, take that out, come back down and take some of these order blocks out, maybe come back all the way down to this swing order block. So looking for a bunch of different things, right? But again, my main focus is these equal highs here for a bull case scenario, for things to continue to play out. I want to see these equal highs taken tomorrow, and I want to see this downtrend tested, this resistance line tested, and then see if those hold or if we just tear through them. And to the downside, we got our sell side liquidity, we got below order blocks, we got our gap. So if we start trading down and that's where the distribution is happening to the downside, we got those targets as well. So I hope this has been a beneficial video for you guys. I appreciate all the support. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.